Most people never reach the real test. They surrender long before life demands their strength. Not because the world is cruel, but because their minds are undefended. They let emotions lead. They let the opinions of strangers rewrite their worth. They hand the throne of their own mind to fear, to noise, to the approval of people who barely know them. And when pressure finally arrives, they don't break loudly. They collapse silently inside walls they never learned to build. The weak chase peace by pleasing others. The strong create peace by mastering themselves. Machiavelli saw this centuries ago. He understood that power begins not in armies or wealth, but in inner rule. To him, the mind was a kingdom, and every thought was a soldier waiting for a command. Rule it, or it will betray you. Every insult, every failure, every act of betrayal is not sent to destroy you. It is sent to expose how little command you truly hold over yourself. Being untouchable is not a gift. It is built through silence, through discipline, through precision. You don't wake up fearless. You train your mind until fear obeys you. So ask yourself now, who commands your mind? You, or the world whispering inside it? Because in a world built on noise, control is not a luxury, it is survival. Law 1. Control the narrative. Power begins in perception. Power doesn't begin with truth. It begins with perception. The way others see you determines how they treat you, trust you, and whether they respect you or target you. You can be brilliant, honest, deeply capable, and still be treated like prey if you project weakness. Machiavelli wrote that men judge more by the eye than by the hand. The world reacts to appearances, not intentions. Control how you are seen, and you control the story the world tells about you. Most people believe truth will protect them. It won't. Truth whispers. Perception shouts. A lie told with confidence travels farther than truth spoken with hesitation. And in a world ruled by noise, image becomes its own law. Look at any workplace. The person promoted most consistently is rarely the most talented. They are the most composed. In every room, the person commanding attention isn't the one with the most to say. It's the one who moves deliberately, who doesn't need validation, who seems utterly unbothered by the chaos around them. People don't follow sincerity, they follow presence. Power is psychological before it is anything else. Before they believe in you, they feel you. Calmness feels like control. Certainty feels like truth. Silence feels like dominance. Consider a meeting where everyone argues and defends themselves. Voices rising, egos clashing. One person sits still and observes. Minutes later, when they finally speak, the room stops. Not because of what they said, but because they didn't need to say it sooner. That is the law of presence. The less you reveal, the more they imagine. The more they imagine, the more power you hold. Every emotional reaction you show gives someone a map to your control room. Every over-explanation is a confession that you've lost command of how you're perceived. Stop trying to be understood. Start becoming unreadable. Appear calm when others panic. Look steady when others shake. Never explain your value. Demonstrate it. When people cannot read you, they will respect you. And when they try to label you, let your results quietly rewrite the label. You define the story. You control perception. Law 2. Detach from emotion. When you control reaction, you control everything. Emotion is the cheapest weapon in existence. No one needs to attack you with force. They only need to make you react. Anger, fear, jealousy, each one is a string they pull to make you dance. And the moment you react without intention, you obey. You become predictable. You become manageable. You lose. Machiavelli wrote that the wise act with reason, while the fool acts with impulse. He wasn't condemning emotion, he was commanding it. Emotion is energy. Uncontrolled, it burns you. Directed, it builds empires. The calm mind sees patterns. The reactive mind sees enemies everywhere and nowhere useful. When someone provokes you and you remain still, they lose control, not you. Your silence becomes a mirror, and their own chaos reflects back at them. Think of your last serious argument, the one where you raised your voice and said things you had to walk back. You didn't win. You leaked energy. Now imagine staying silent instead, watching, breathing, observing, saying nothing. That silence would have unsettled them far more than any word. This is emotional discipline, the art of remaining the observer when everything around you demands a participant. You are not your anger. You are the one who decides when anger is useful. Detachment is not coldness. It's power disguised as peace. It means I feel everything, but nothing rules me. The world manipulates through triggers, a comment, a rumor, a look of disrespect. All of it is aimed at one thing, your reaction, because your reaction reveals your weakness. Train the pause, 5 seconds before you speak, 5 seconds before you move. That pause is the border between victim and ruler. Master it, and you master time itself. You slow chaos down until it kneels before you. Machiavelli said a leader must know when not to be kind. He meant, when emotion threatens strategy, you cut it off. If anger serves your goal in a specific moment, use it deliberately. If it weakens your position, bury it completely. Every emotion must serve you, never the other way around. This is how you become unreadable. The one who smiles when insulted. The one who stays still when attacked. The one who never lets the storm inside show on the surface. Mystery creates respect. Respect sustains power, detached from emotion, not to escape humanity, but to master it. Law 3. Expect betrayal. Trust, strategy, not sympathy. Betrayal is not an accident. It is a law of human nature. People shift loyalty the moment it stops serving them. That is not evil. That is survival. Machiavelli observed without sentiment that men are ungrateful, fickle, and self-interested. He didn't say this with hatred. He said it with precision. He saw the world as it is, not as we wish it to be. Most people suffer deeply from betrayal because they expected loyalty in a world built on advantage. They confused emotion with alliance and kindness with safety. But loyalty has an expiration date, and that date arrives the moment interests shift. The Machiavellian mind does not fear betrayal, it anticipates it. It designs structures that still function when trust breaks. Because when your stability depends on any single person's loyalty, you have already surrendered control. A promise made today is only valid while it benefits the person who made it. When that benefit ends, so does devotion. You cannot hate people for this. You can only prepare for it. Trust systems, not sympathy. Build relationships that reward reliability, not affection. An alliance built on aligned interests lasts. An alliance built only on emotional bond collapses the moment those emotions cool. Most people call this cynicism. It is not. It is realism sharpened into something useful. Think of history. Every great empire fell from within. Not destroyed by enemies, but hollowed out by betrayal disguised as friendship. Rome did not collapse when attacked from outside. It collapsed when the men inside its walls stopped believing in Rome. The same pattern plays out today in every boardroom, every relationship, every team. The business partner who promised forever leaves when profit fades. The friend who swore loyalty disappears when envy grows. And yet the wise never break over betrayal. They record it, they analyze it, they adapt. Each betrayal teaches you two things: who values advantage and who values integrity. Both are useful, but you must know which is which. The one who betrays you for gain will do it again. The one who stays through loss deserves your protection. But even then, remain detached. Even loyalty must be tested through time. A wise ruler keeps allies close, but never essential. He builds systems that can replace any individual and trusts no structure that depends on a single soul. That is not heartless. That is sustainable. You can care deeply and still remain strategic. You can love and still stay alert. You can forgive without forgetting patterns, because people repeat themselves. A strategist's job is not to judge. It is to anticipate. Betrayal hurts only when it surprises you. When you expect it, it becomes data, not disaster. The mind that foresees betrayal never kneels to it. Stop trusting emotion. Trust patterns. Trust incentives. Trust the structure that remains when the mask falls. Law 4. Appear calm. Think cold. The psychology of dominance. Calmness is not kindness. It is control. In a chaotic world, stillness is the loudest signal of power, because nothing terrifies the unstable more than someone they cannot shake. Machiavelli understood this. He wrote that a ruler must learn to stay rational precisely when emotion demands reaction. He saw composed behavior as a form of psychological warfare. When others panic and you remain still, you project superiority without a single word. People expect noise from power, but true power is quiet. It breathes deliberately, it moves slowly, it waits, and in waiting, it collects everything. The calm mind sees what chaos hides. While others drown in emotion, you observe patterns. While they shout to be heard, you gather information. And control of perception always begins inside, because if your mind shakes, your composure cracks. And once your calm breaks, your opponents know exactly where to strike. Picture two people facing the same public insult. One explodes, losing words, image, and command in real time. The other looks at the person and smiles. That smile burns deeper than any outburst could. Because silence implies dominance. Calmness implies danger. When people cannot read you, they overthink you. They fill your silence with their own fear. That is how control operates. You let them trap themselves inside their imagination of you. In every conflict, the first person to reveal emotion loses. The loud one shows his hand. The composed one waits and watches. So train yourself to move slowly in chaos. Lower your voice when others raise theirs. Hold your posture when others crumble. Machiavelli compared the ideal ruler to both a lion and a fox. The lion to intimidate, the fox to avoid traps. True mastery requires the patience of a lion and the calculated calm of a fox. You don't need to perform goodness at all times. You need to be in control at all times. In modern life, this law is everywhere. At work, people who panic under pressure lose the trust of those around them. In relationships, those who constantly overreact lose the respect of those closest to them. Calmness is composure weaponized. Your stillness makes reactive people deeply uncomfortable. Your patience exposes their lack of discipline. Most people want to appear powerful. The strategist wants to be powerful, and real power is invisible because it doesn't need to announce itself. When the world provokes you, pause. Ask, does reacting help me win? If the answer is no, remain still. Stillness drains the aggressor. It exposes the manipulator. It makes people reveal themselves because they cannot stand the mirror of your control. Appear calm. Think cold, because the one who reacts last controls the story first. Law 5. Keep power in silence. The art of strategic mystery. Silence is not emptiness. It is control in its purest form. Every word you speak is a seed. Some grow into respect. Most grow into exposure. The more you talk, the more you reveal. And once people can fully read you, they can predict you. Once they can predict you, they can manage you. Machiavelli called silence a weapon sharper than any blade, because what is invisible cannot be defended against. You can block a sword. You cannot block uncertainty. Silence makes others uncomfortable. They mistake it for weakness, right up until the moment it devours them. The loud ones want attention. The wise ones want control. When you speak less, you force others to imagine more. An imagination, once ignited, creates its own kind of fear. People fear what they cannot define. In every conversation, there is a battle for control. The one who speaks first is seeking approval. The one who listens owns the direction. Most people expose themselves through speech. They over-explain, justify, confess, and in doing so, hand their opponents a complete map of their inner world. Power never explains itself. it demonstrates. And when it doesn't need to demonstrate, it stays silent. Practice silence like a skill. When provoked, don't respond immediately. When doubted, let results speak. Each moment you withhold a reaction, you increase your perceived value, because people equate mystery with strength. Think of a sword that never leaves its sheath. It is feared more than one constantly swinging, because the unknown carries infinite potential. That is what your silence must become, a presence that commands without effort. In an age where everyone shouts to be seen, your quietness becomes rebellion. And when you finally speak, your words land like verdicts. The greatest power is not to speak. It is to make others speak too much. Law 6. Master the art of absence. Distance creates power. Presence loses its value when it becomes constant. The more accessible you are, the less you are respected. Familiarity breeds contempt, and scarcity breeds power. The world worships what it cannot have. When you are always available, you become background noise. When you withdraw deliberately, you become an echo, and echoes last far longer than voices. Absence is not weakness, it is strategy. The artist who appears once a year is celebrated. The one who posts daily is forgotten by next week. Absence forces others to fill the void with imagination, and imagination is far more powerful than any actual presence. The art is in the rhythm, presence that sparks attention, followed by silence that breeds obsession. And when you step back, those who remain are real. Distance is the fire that burns away false devotion. Your value is not proven by how often you are seen. It is proven by what happens when you are gone. Don't beg for attention. Starve it. Let them earn your reappearance. Law 7. Rule your mind. Command everything. Every form of power begins inside the mind. Machiavelli wrote, "He who cannot rule himself cannot rule anything." Every empire falls the same way, from the inside first. Your mind is your throne. If you do not sit on it, fear will, insecurity will, the noise of other people's opinions will. Ruling your mind does not mean suppressing emotion. It means mastering your response to it. Guard what enters your thoughts like a commander guards a fortress. Train your thoughts like soldiers. Starve what weakens you. Feed what strengthens you. The world wants you distracted, so you never realize how unstoppable you would become if you simply focused. Two people lose the same job. One sees failure. The other sees a door forced open. Same event, different interpretation, entirely different destiny. Reality is neutral. Interpretation builds empires or graves. Depend on nothing. Not approval, not comfort, not certainty. When your mind obeys you, you don't need motivation. You have command. You don't need luck. You have discipline. The storms still come. None of it matters because the throne inside you no longer shakes. The world does not reward the loudest or the kindest. It rewards the most controlled. Your silence is a language. Your distance is a crown. Your composure is a weapon the world never sees coming. Power was never about domination. It was always about self-mastery. The world will keep testing you through rejection, betrayal, and chaos. But every test only sharpens you until one day you realize you no longer need to fight for your place in any room. Machiavelli once wrote, "The one who conquers himself is greater than the one who conquers kingdoms." That is who you are becoming. A ruler without an army. A mind so still that even chaos recognizes its authority. From today you rule your mind. And when the mind is ruled, everything else follows.